Hello everyone, welcome to my video on polynomials, another chapter from CBSE Class 10 Mathematics syllabus. In your board examination, you can expect 1 to 2 questions from this chapter carrying a weight of 4 to 6 marks. I have divided this chapter in two parts. This video, part 1 on polynomials, will be covering a bit of introduction where we'll be revising what we have already learned about polynomials in class 9. Then we will be taking a look at the geometrical meaning of the zeros of a polynomial.
Let us start with revising what is a polynomial. The word polynomial has been derived from Greek words where poly means many and nomial means term. So literally the word polynomial means many terms. Coming back to mathematics from English, polynomial is an expression which contains many algebraic terms. It consists of variables and coefficients which are clubbed together by operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication. We have not included division here, and after a little while we'll tell you the reason. And non-negative integer exponents of variables. In order to understand this definition, we will take an example. Let us see. We'll take example of 4x square plus 2xy minus of 3. Now let us try to dissect this term by term. First we will see what are variables. Variables are the symbols here which can assume different values. So in this expression we can see that the only two variables are x and y. Now coming on to coefficients. Coefficients are the constant terms which are attached to these variables. So here we can see 4 and 2 are coefficients and 3 here is a constant term. Since 3 is not having any variable attached to it, it is a constant term. It can only assume a value of 3. Now at last we'll see what are the exponents. So exponents are the powers of variables which are incorporated in this polynomial. Now here there are 2 points which are important and should be kept in mind. That is, the exponents are always non-negative integers. It means the power of variables, the variable can be anything x, y, z, abc, but the powers of variables cannot be non-negative. It cannot be -1, it cannot be -2, so and so forth, and it has to be an integer. So it can assume, the powers or exponent can assume value starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so and so forth. The second important point to note is that the coefficients are real numbers. So the coefficients here, in our example, these are 4 and 2. However, these coefficients can only be real numbers, they cannot be imaginary. Now coming to the reason why we have not included division here in the definition. Because if we are taking the variable terms in division, their power or exponent won't remain non-negative integers. If I am writing a simple term of 1 upon x, it means x here is having a power of -1 and hence it is non-negative. That's why these variables are not appearing in the division. Now let us take a look at few other expressions, and on the basis of what we have just learned, we'll try to determine whether these expressions can be termed as polynomial or not. Look at the first term. Here we can see that the variable y is having power 1, which is a non-negative number, and the coefficient of y is 5, which is a real number. The constant term is under root of 3, which is also a real number. Hence this expression is satisfying all the conditions of being a polynomial. The second term also is having powers of x as 3, 2 and 1. These are all positive integers. Secondly, the coefficients of variables 6, 9, 8 are also real numbers. The constant number 7 is also a real number. That's why we can easily say that this is also a polynomial. Now take a look at this expression. Here the variable term x is having power 1 by 2. under root of x can also be written as x to the power 1 by 2. So this is not fulfilling the criteria that the variable term should be having an exponent or power as non-negative integer. So this is not a polynomial. Here also, if this term goes up, it will be mentioned as y plus 8 to the power minus 1. Since the power is not a non-negative integer, that's why this is also not a polynomial. Here we see that z is having a power 1, which is a positive integer, and the constant term 12 is a real number. However, the coefficient of z here is under root of minus 1, which is imaginary. Since the coefficient of z here is not a real number, this expression is also not a polynomial. In class 10, we will be dealing with polynomials in only one variable with varying degrees. Now, what is a degree? Degree is the highest power of variable which is present in that expression. If we take example of 6x cube plus 9x square minus 8x plus 7, we can see that this expression is a polynomial in variable x with degrees 3. Here the degree of polynomial is 3. Why? Because the highest power of the variable, which is x, here is 3. Now all the polynomials which degree 1 are known as linear polynomial. The polynomials with degree 2 are known as quadratic polynomials, and the polynomials with degree 3 are known as cubic polynomials. The polynomials are mathematically represented as p, small p, along with the variable y, x or z, it can be anything, along with the variable in bracket. So if we take polynomial 5y cube minus 3y plus 9, this is a polynomial in variable y with degree 3. So it can be mentioned as py.
The next topic which we are going to learn is value of a polynomial. If we replace the variable x by a real number k, we will be getting value of polynomial px at x is equal to k. We'll try to understand this thing in a better way by taking one example. Let's say py is a polynomial in variable y, and py is given as 5y cube minus 3y plus 9. We need to calculate value of this polynomial at y is equal to 2. What we are going to do is replace y by 2. So we will be getting 5 2 cube minus 3 into 2 plus 9, which will be 40 minus 6 plus 9, and we will get 43. So the value of this polynomial y at p2 is 43. Now we are going to look at an important term, which is 0 of a polynomial. 0 of a polynomial is that value of variable x where the value of polynomial becomes 0. So basically we are looking for that value of x where pk becomes 0. Since the value of polynomial becomes 0, that is why this value of x is known as 0 of a polynomial. Again, we'll take an example in order to understand this thing in a clear way. Find 0 of linear polynomial px is equal to x minus 4. So what we have just learned is 0 of a polynomial is that value of x where value of polynomial px becomes 0. So in order to find value of 0 of this polynomial, we will assume that k is 0 of polynomial px. So we need to find that value of k where pk becomes 0. So we will replace value of pk in this equation. Px is equal to x minus 4. So we will be getting pk is equal to k minus 4 is equal to 0. So we will take 4 on that side of the equation, and we will be getting k is equal to 4. 4 becomes 0 of this linear polynomial px is equal to x minus 4. We have already seen what is the algebraic meaning of 0 of a polynomial. Now we will take a look at the geometrical meaning of zeros of polynomial. In order to understand the geometrical meaning, we will first try to represent a polynomial in its graphical way. And we'll do that by taking some examples. Now, first let us start with a linear polynomial. Let us take an example of a linear polynomial px is equal to 2x plus 3. Now, since we know that a two-dimensional graph is always on x-axis and y-axis, that is why we will denote px as y. Now we will be requiring minimum of 2 points to draw a linear graph. That's why I am taking randomly any two values of x, and then I will figure out the value of y at those values of x. Firstly, I have taken the value of x as minus 3. Replacing x as minus 3, I will be getting value of y here as minus 3. After that, I have taken 2 as the value of x, and if I replace 2 in this expression, I will be getting value of y as 7. So now we will be preparing a table so we can see that I have taken two values of x as minus 3 and 2, and at these values of x I will be getting value of y as minus 3 and 7. Now we will be plotting both these points on the xy plane. The first point is x is equal to minus 3 and y is equal to minus 3. To plot this point, we'll be moving left by 3 units. This is x is equal to minus 3, and we'll be going down south by another 3 units. So we'll be getting this point as minus 3 comma minus 3. Similarly, we can plot the other point as 2 comma 7. Now we'll be joining these 2 points and we'll be getting the graph of linear polynomial y is equal to 2x plus 3. As you can see that this line y is equal to 2x plus 3 is intersecting both the y-axis and the x-axis. But we are more interested in the intersection point of x-axis and this line. Why? Because we can recollect that the zero of a polynomial is that value of x where the value of polynomial, which is y, becomes 0, and we know that the value of x-axis is nothing but y is equal to 0. That is why the intersection point of x-axis and this line will be giving me the 0 of this polynomial. Since at 0 of polynomial y is equal to 0, we will replace this in the polynomial in order to get the value of x. Hence 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. By rearranging the terms, we will be getting x is equal to minus 3 by 2. We can see that this is the intersection point of this line and the x-axis, and it is represented by minus 3 by 2 comma 0. By looking at this graph, we can say that geometrically the 0 of a polynomial is the x coordinate of point where the graph of polynomial intersects the x-axis. In our example, y is equal to 2x plus 3, we can see that the 0 is x is equal to minus 3 by 2. From this example, we can also note that there are at most 1 zeros of linear polynomial. This line by chance is intersecting the x-axis, but there are numerous other lines which are parallel to x-axis which will never intersect x-axis, such as y is equal to 2, y is equal to 4. For all those polynomials, there won't be any zero. So we can say that a linear polynomial will be having either 1 0 or no zero. A very small point to note here is that going forward in this chapter, we will be representing the general form of linear polynomial as y is equal to ax plus b. Keeping in mind the learnings from graphical representation of linear polynomial, we will take a look at graphical representation of quadratic polynomial. Firstly, we should keep in mind that the generic form or the general form of quadratic polynomial is y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. The syllabus of class 10 does not demand you to plot graphs of either quadratic polynomial or polynomials of higher degree. However, as a thumb rule, we should always remember that quadratic polynomials are in the shape of parabolas and will be having either one of the two shapes. They will be either facing upwards or they will be facing downwards. Now this will depend upon the coefficient of x square. In case if the coefficient of x square, that is a, greater than 0, then the parabola will be facing upwards, and if the coefficient of x square, that is a, is less than 0, then the parabola will be facing downwards like this. Similar to linear polynomial, the zeros of quadratic polynomials are those x-coordinate of the points where the parabola intersects the x-axis. For linear polynomial, we had seen that there is a maximum of 1 0. In case of a quadratic polynomial, there are three possible scenarios. There will be either two zeros, 1 0, or no zero. The first case is that the graph of quadratic polynomial intersects the x-axis at two distinct points, as there are two zeros. Now we have just seen that in case if a or the coefficient of x square is less than 0, then the graph of quadratic polynomial will be a parabola facing downwards. And in case if a is greater than 0, the parabola will be facing upwards. In both these graphs, we can see that the graph of quadratic polynomial is intersecting x-axis at exactly 2 points, and the x-coordinate of these points will be zeros of this quadratic polynomial. This is the second case where the parabola of quadratic polynomial is intersecting x-axis, or rather touching the x-axis at exactly 1 point. In this scenario, there is only one zero of quadratic polynomial, and that zero is x coordinate of the point where this parabola is touching the x-axis. And the third point is a scenario where the parabola does not touch the x-axis even once. In this scenario, there are no zeros of quadratic polynomial. Again, I would like to reiterate that quadratic polynomial has got at max two zeros. It will be having either two zeros, 1 0, or no zero. Now coming on to zeros of a cubic polynomial. In line with our learning of linear and quadratic polynomial, we can see that the zeros of cubic polynomial can either intersect x-axis at three different points or two different points, or there is a scenario where this cubic polynomial is intersecting the x-axis at only one point. From these graphs we can see that a cubic polynomial can have at max three zeros. Now in general we can say that linear polynomial or a polynomial in degree 1 will be having at max 1 0. A quadratic polynomial or a polynomial in degree 2 will be having at the most two zeros. A cubic polynomial or a polynomial with degree 3 will be having at the most three zeros. Another important point to note is that the maximum number of turns or bends in the graph of a polynomial will be the degree of polynomial minus 1. So if we take a linear polynomial whose graph is a simple line, the degree is 1 and hence there are no turns. If we take example of a quadratic polynomial, the degree of quadratic polynomial is 2, and as per our thumb rule there is only one bend. If we take example of a cubic polynomial, since the degree of cubic polynomial is 3, there can be at the max two bends. Before concluding this video, let us revisit what we have learned in this video. In the introduction section, we have seen what are the different types of polynomials. Then we have determined what exactly are zeros of a polynomial, And at last we have seen how to calculate values of polynomial at a particular value of variable. Then in the next section we have seen what is the geometrical meaning of zeros of a polynomial. We have constructed a graph of linear polynomial, and after that we have taken a look how exactly the graph of cubic as well as quadratic polynomial will look like. And on the basis of these graphs we have seen how we can determine zeros of a polynomial. I hope that you have liked this video. Please feel free to mention your feedback in the comment section and subscribe to my channel Mathmarize by Naveen. Thank you.